Hi viewers. Welcome to my channel. In this segment, I'm doing some restoration of a very old angle grinder, which I have been used for the past projects. Recently I bought a new one as well. So decided to refurbish it. First, I have unscrewed the top 4 screws mounted on the gear section of the grinder head and 3 separate screws on the spindle armor. Later, I have unscrewed the 4 screws attached to the body and gear head. From the view, you can clearly see the crack run along with the bearing side to the locking nut on the casting portion. Due to the crack, it has been very difficult to run the grinder for cutting and grinding purpose. It's a safety concern, so I brought new replacement part for it. Next I went through the electrical section of the grinder and I unplugged the wire and brush too. So I had removed the stator as well. This was the new replacement part for the grinder, which is not the original part. I bought a third-party item for the saw. Since the exact replacement is not so readily available, I went with a cheaper version with similar dimensions. I used the diesel fuel for cleaning the dirt and old grease left on the gears. This might not look like a professional method, but anyway I used detergent for washing the plastic parts and dried it off for a day. On the electrical side, the cord wire was broken. I had been electrocuted a couple of times before, so for a while I have taped it up. So repaired that first by soldering it together and separated with fiberglass tube and insulation tape. Next day I started assemble it, starting with the electrical side. I connected the 2 wires to its respective slots given and screwed it onto the switch inside. After the stator was placed inside, cautiously unscrewed the brushes onto the respective sides, since the carbon was in good condition, so I didn't replace it. Then I cleaned the copper portion of the rotor with sandpaper and carefully places it inside the stator. And screwed the top part of the gear casing onto the body and put some necessary lubricant inside. and close it up. For last I mounted my DIY guard on the rotor housing, and for a test run I mounted a cutting disc on the grinder. As you can see, it works well. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like and share please.